Hi guys, welcome. Is almost release date, so mid-March more or less we will release the ISOs in a few days, and there is already an how to stay up to date, how to stay rolling, and the point of these videos is to give you knowledge, and you can find these if you look a little bit around YouTube and then Eric Dubois. Yes, how to stay rolling. There must be a playlist somewhere. You see, we make a few videos, well, every single release we make a video how to move from one version of the ISO to the next version of the ISO. So basically update, right? But there always will be little things like keys and choices that we have to make on ArcoLinux, and things we change, right? What is new is another video, and that's what we're gonna make now. What's new in the release of March 2022? You can find information on the information website. Yep, that's the logic. ArcoLinux.info contains information about ArcoLinux. And it starts here. We've added the learning path at the top. So it's basically this link that the hand, right, the mouse changes in a hand, meaning there's a link, there's something to read. But this is then the straightforward link to that article. The new release of 2022, so that was January, this is March. Let's go over all the details. Many things have changed and many interesting things have been added. First of all, the change of Calamares. While we move from January to February to March to April, right, Calamares evolves, gets better code, and at this point in time several are in 53, so the version number of Calamares, and the rest is in 52. So you can have a look. Those are links to the github.com/calamares/calamares. The point is, if you have issues or wishes, then you tell it to the guys, right? These are professional Linux users and making a framework so that we can install Linux on our hardware, basically, right? And if the hardware is new, we need to teach the application, hey, that's new hardware, and we have to adapt the code. So if things are not the way you think they should be, normally I would suggest go to code, so to go to the GitHub, and it's easy to remember. You have to type Calamares twice in the URL, github.com, calamares, very strange, but remember it like this. And you add issues. 176 issues are open, but not only issues, right? Wishes. We would like to have this, we would like to have that. So have a look if your issue is maybe already open, and add your own voice to it. Create a GitHub account and add a voice, say, oh yes, it would be nice, I'm waiting for that to be developed. Things like that. Okay, Calamares is essential and has grown. Look at it, look at it. It has grown in size, in choices, and lots of icon themes are in here, but other stuff as well, Wacom stuff, real VNC. And if you have no idea what all this is, you have this, right? You have the pack. PAMAC will tell you what is what. And by reading the names, often you already have an idea what it's gonna be, right? But it's just here, a search, and you have a look at Waydroid, for example, and you read a container-based approach to boot a full Android system on a regular Linux system. Okay, fine, and so on. So we have made considerable steps, choices actually, nothing too different from the Calamares we had in the past, but choices and applications go with it. There was just a name change here. Maybe it's a good thing to remember and to tell again. If people do not update regularly, they will see it, and that's something we can show in the how to stay rolling. So ArcoLinux decided to change the name. That's all it is. Get rid of one thing, install the other thing, GTK 3. So lots of choices that you can now click, simply click in the Linux installer. There's also a new module, and it's interesting to know that after an installation, and here you see an example of an encrypted BTRFS, so it's all possible, you have here in the var log your Calamares log. So the future system, right? You will see that, will remember what did I select, what did I do, analyze, and go back to the github.com/calamares/calamares. Hey, there's an issue. And this is another file for the installation of Calamares, the variables. So, yeah, knowledge is required in Linux, right? More maybe than on Windows or Mac. But if you select things, Calamares just executes. I do not select applications and desktops, and I still get them. Why is that, right? The installation seems to take forever. Why is that? It's all about getting more knowledge about ArcoLinux and ArcoLinux and about Calamares installer. If you select things in here, it will be downloaded. You have a slow internet, it will take time to download it. You have a slow computer, yeah, it will take time to install it. So it all depends on your hardware, your bandwidth, and all that. So the more you select, the longer you have to wait. And you know what my choice is? Not advanced, but the easy installation. And I'll do a script later on with ArcoLinux Nemesis, github.com/ericdubois/ArcoLinux Nemesis, and I'll say sudo pacman remove this and this and this from the ArcoLinux installation and install more and more and more. So choices, right? But there are here, of course, and if you want to combine, I don't know, Mate with i3, great. Just click and you have them both with XFCE, for example. But mixing things will not give the same result. It's all about knowledge. That's why we have separate ArcoLinux B ISOs with just one desktop. And often the styling window manager will not conflict with a general the known and the GNOME desktop, right? The known desktops are like Cinnamon and XFCE, Mate. These are Plasma. Often they can easily be combined with the tiling window manager, but not always. So it does require some knowledge if you want to select things in the advanced section. I did make it a little bit easier. There was one application, one theme, and it's called, whenever it's KDE or Plasma, the maintainer added go install Plasma desktop inside that package. I moved it to the bottom, and you'll see it. Don't select that one, because at this point in time you'll get complete Plasma in because you selected one theme. So it's all about rules, about package builds, it's about maintainers, about AWAR, and some of these things, right, we don't have control over. The only thing we can do is get knowledge and avoid that application. Avoid installing that application. Like KDE applications meta. People say, hey, what's all this? I get so much bloatware, they call it often, right? So much software, and it includes games, and I don't want that. If you select something inside Calamares, you'll get it. That's the job of Calamares. It's up to you to decide whether you should select it or not. So that's explained in this video. Yeah, we've done a study on ButterFS or BTRFS or B3 I think it's called as well, but I like to call it ButterFS and or BetterFS as well. Calamares. We've looked at the way Calamares does its work. We've looked at 10-ish articles online, what people say for OpenSUSE, EndeavourOS, Garuda. We went everywhere, and we have, well, on the basis of these 10 articles, we've made our own choices. That's all. And it's working, right? I'll just click here on the computer next to me, and I type in Snaply, right? Remember already the code. I was a bit curious. I'm there on the number 459 snapshots. I've been installing it like, I don't know, weeks, right? So there is this option in ButterFS to roll back, to make a snapshot, to go back to a certain point in time that you realize, hey, that particular application which is critical for me, I need to have it. You roll back to that moment in time and everything will work again. That's the point, that's the strength of this file system, basically, ButterFS. And there are two choices. Either you're a kind of guy that says, give me a GUI, right? Give me a GUI, and I have time shift. I know time shift, it's okay. I've used it in ext4 where it will do rsync, but it's better to use it with ButterFS, so the file system. If snapshots is important, going back is important, then you choose the file system, ButterFS, and then make your decision. And here is some information about the tutorial. So select ButterFS and choose either all of these and all of these. There's no choice. The point is to select all of them. These three and these three. So we made it simple. There are more applications and we avoided making it complex. It's all of that and all of that. But choose either timeshift or snapper, not both. They will conflict. Okay, so that's a neat little trick. There are many tutorials about snapper and about time shift as well. People were asking me, seeing me work on ButterFS, and said, okay, how about now? Can we now have it, right? In a week's time, everything will be released, but can we now have it? And I was amazed, people didn't know, but you can actually edit anything in Calamares on the fly. Any option can be changed. The only thing that is required is go to github.com/calamares/calamares, start reading code, start reading the readmes, right? Learn more. There are so many tutorials I've made about Calamares. Read, listen, right? And in this video, I'll just explain that this is the default. What you see here used to be the default of ArcoLinux, which is just basically we trust Calamares and it's good, right? And we went over to our own choices, our own subvolumes, and they will work, these subvolumes, in how do you say that, together with these guys, right? They understand, they know, okay, it works. So it's interesting to know that if there are settings in Calamares that we've set that you don't want to set, you can just change it. So in this video, I'm going to show you that the mount points on the fly will be changed. And the ButterFS assistant, I believe we have to think, is it Garuda? I think it is. Don't want to make false accusations. That's not the word, false reference or credits. So let me check if that's true. I actually had to look inside the package build and it points indeed to the Garuda GitHub. So we're very thankful that these guys have developed a great application, ButterFS Assistant. By default, it's not inside your XFC system settings, but we've made sure it's there. So the ButterFS Assistant, a tool to manage more the way the file system works. Everything we learn starts actually on ArcoLinux. So on ArcoLinux, we've made also an article, and you know that we have these phases. And on ArcoLinux ArcoLinuxD.com, we've put together actually a lot of phases. Phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4. And phase 7 is the Arch way, the ArcoLinux way, and forgetting anything about ArcoLinux, right? But pure Arch, and go that way. So these are all the phases we go through, and we end with something, right? All in one. We end up with all kinds of things. In this case, ButterFS, RiserFS, ext4, and so many other choices, because that's the fun in ArcoLinux. All these choices, the freedom to do whatever you want, right? That's fun. So we start with ArcoLinux, figured everything out, created it, made a video about it, et voila. And then afterwards we say, okay, how can we implement it in Calamares? What's that tool? What has that to offer? How do I need to implement it? Read, read, read. The next big thing, I believe, is the Nemesis repo. It started out very silly with a theme, an icon theme, and I always create icon themes, right? But gradually it was a cascade of dominoes, cascade of what ifs. What if I create an icon theme? How to create a new icon theme, combining elements from others. Then you can say, fine, I've made an icon theme just for me, right? No problem. You just copy paste it along. But what if I put it on a GitHub and other people can download it, copy paste it, and have the icon theme as well? So that's the next what if. How to install the theme manually, so the copy paste is explained. How to install the theme automatically with a script. ArcoLinux Nemesis is explained. How to make scripts. Then you say, yeah, well, can't we make a package build? Can't we just double click a thing and it's installed? Sure, if you know how to theme, how to create a package build, to make it, then you can build a package. The result is something you can double click and it's installed. PAMAC will come up, say, do you want to install? Yes, and it's installed. Then the idea was, hey, what if we can have a repo, my own repository, my own databases, right? When we do this, update, we go check 3 databases from ArcoLinux, 4 from ArcoLinux, and now 1 from Nemesis Repo. And I have created my own personal Nemesis Repo, and I've shared again the knowledge, right? Again, why do I say again? It's explained on Carly project, ArcoLinuxISO.com. It's explained on the ALCI.online project. So a third way, telling it makes sense to make a repository for yourself if you have multiple computers. The only thing you do is add the Nemesis repo to Pacman, point to the server, and say, like in this case, sudo pacman -s edu stands for Eric Dubois, vimix dark delakit, and I've got my theme on any of my SSDs, because you know I work with a bay, right? Windows out, Linux in, Windows out, Linux in. That's how it works here. And I don't get any dual things and problems and frustration that some of the people have. So the Nemesis repo, if you have a repository, there's how to create a personal repo and put your package on it, explained. How to create more icon themes and package build and put them on their personal repo. And now we're getting there, right? How to build any package from the AUR and put it on the personal repo. If we don't have the package and you have to build it each time, why not build it once, put it on the repo, and all your 5 computers, 10 computers, 100 computers, right? They all go get that package. You don't need to build it on all your systems. Just build it once, put it online, it's on the repo, get it in, sudo pacman -s, it's in. It's not gonna be paru and wait for all the compiling and building. It gives you more control. And then of course the next thing is, what if I add it to my ISOs? We want you at some point in time, right? There's no rush. Take your time, there's so much knowledge, but at some point in time, we'd like you to venture your way to build your own ISO and use the Nemesis repo. Use your own repository to add packages from anyone, right? AWAR, anyone, your own creations, your own builds, and put them on the ISO already. So you've got an ISO that has all the browsers you want, all the editors you want, all the icon themes you want, and so on and so on and so on. And they're all coming, some of them will come from your repo. It's super easy, all the scripts already, a few things to change. Done. You're having the most personal ISO that we can give you. It includes your packages. What can we do more? Nothing really. And if you want to change our look of XFCE or look of left WM i3, it's explained. This is now the XFCE look because of a package, right? And left WM is in here as well. And all the desktops can go in here. It's just a matter of figuring out what makes a desktop tick, package it, repo on the ISO, done. So that's, I think, one of the advantages, which is of course not when you come for the first day on Linux, this is too much, right? But later on, know that you can grow, know that you can do this in the future. And you can watch it, see, okay, too much yet for now, too complicated, fine, but just know that there is potentially a growth. And that's all we want to do, right? Gradually teach you ArcoLinux, ArcoLinux, and be in control, independent of us. Okay, all the project information as a project can be found. So it's a series. All these questions result in videos and steps to follow, and you have your own repo. It's not difficult, but it takes time, right? That's it. So in order to build all these things, I've made several package build tutorials, several, and each package build is different. So you see that whatever you do, the end result is the same. So these recipes, I call them recipes, like cooking, right? They can change, and doesn't matter. If the end result is what you want, then it's okay. Different roads to Rome, right? End result is okay. Some information about icon themes. Add your own repository to our ArcoLinux ISO, any of them. It's great. So that's super interesting. Be in control. Then you don't need AUR later on. Of course, you can still run scripts like ArcoLinux Nemesis and build packages. What if, right? What if I couldn't pre-build them and put them on the repo and have them on the ISO? No need to build anything afterwards. All about Nemesis Repo. So at this point in time, that's a selection. I probably get other what ifs, right, who do not really have a place inside the ArcoLinux environment, and they'll go in my own personal Nemesis repo. Alright, you can of course add the Nemesis repo to your system. That's already taken care of, and maybe I should just show you quickly. If you update your systems, you go to bin and you do a scal, what will happen? You will get here a Nemesis repo. Add Nemesis repo to Pacman. Boom, you've got it. And you have also that line, when you update the system, you'll see as well this update is possible as well. Nemesis repo, right? You'll see it. It will be there. We've updated our, shall we call, side projects, what ifs, right? We came across Alice project, and the Alice project is a combination of two things. On the ArcoLinuxISO.com, we're all talking about creation of ISOs from scratch, creating the Carly project from scratch. ALCI, start with, let's see what it says, ArcoLinux Calamares installer. Basically, pure Arch, pure Calamares, stop. No configuration, no sound, no Bluetooth, no printers. We just give you the bare necessities. Here is Arch, here is Calamares, go get and go install whatever desktop you want to have, Mate, Plasma, etc. And this project, the AA, is Arch plus Alice. AA, voila, and then a little bit of fun, right? So we got an ISO there as well. Up to date, new Calamares, stuff like that, updating. So the workflow video, how to create a new AA, ArcoLinux and ls scripts. Carly and LCI, we have the new Calamares version, we have the preserve files, and we've just talked about it at the top. And once I will explain the process, often I will explain the process once, right? I always have to choose. Will I put it, the video, the tutorial on Carly, will I put it on the LCI? Well, I choose then where I'll put it, because it's basically the same, right? Creating new Calamares or adding new modules, it's gonna be everywhere the same. Also on Garuda, also on KOS and so on, because we're all using Calamares. Okay, I'm explaining it, but just once on either of them. One of them, that's it. On one of them, not either. Okay, that's a look. It's a simple LCI XFCE look, and this is Carly. This is a Carly look, and this is the beautiful, the LCI look. This is pure arch, and this is we don't like pure arch. Let's take already an icon theme, and I do believe also a terminal theme. So I seem to be needing, no, okay, it's all right, no mistake. So Carly has been updated as well to 52. We've added Carly, the Nemesis repo has been added to the repositories of Carly, so we can have all these guys as well there. So that's a new Carly 11 repo added, and all the ISOs for Carly, for ALCI, for AA. The ISOs are online, but it's not really intended to be downloaded. But if you want to taste it, if you want to decide whether this project is something for you, then I understand, okay, that you would go and download it. But the thing is, you should build it, right? That it becomes your own, choose your own packages, your own browsers and stuff like that. We've created some icon themes, Papyrus Dark Tela. So in all these what ifs at the top, we were creating combinations. I like the Tela folders. I'm always on left WM these days, so the only thing I really see are the icons, the folders here, and that's it. Sometimes I click here, right? Sometimes, but often it's just this what I'm looking at all day long. So it's important that our folders, and our not only our folders, our files look nice. So voila, creating Papyrus Dark Tela, that's the blue one. Papyrus Dark Tela creation, giving you more knowledge. How do I do that, right? So you create your own what ifs. That's the fun in Linux. Anything you see can be touched, can be changed. All it requires is somebody to teach you how it should be done. And there was one icon that was really out of place, that really bugging me. I said, oh no, this is not going to stay like that, right? And we all have this experience with themes that you say, beautiful, but the Firefox icon, right? Or the GIMP icon or something like that. You can change it. One icon is not okay. How to stay in control. Replace the icon with something else. It's simple as that. It sounds simple when you say it, but it's technical and it's explained here. So from Vimix Black, so we had a few, I think, might have been Vimix Black that I'm currently on. Anyway, so this look has been created. Surf and Tela has been created. And we all explain how and it's done. We also have a package at the point in this PC. I don't think I've used it. This particular package, if you really say, there are some icons missing or there are problems with icons, we have changed, we've created an ArcoLinux icon themes fixer git to ensure that all, and the stress is actually all, applications have an icon. Sometimes you feel that it's an old icon, it falls out of the theme, it stands out of the theme, it's right? It all depends on knowledge. If we can change the inherits line, and that's basically what that does, is add a word after a few icons, not all of them, but a few major icons will get a change in lines, and hopefully, right, you will see less icons that are broken. And if you remove it, everything is going to be back the same as it was prior, right? So that's it's reversible. That's the word. It's reversible. So the goal is we want all apps to have an icon, but as an icon developer, we make sure that Surfen and Sardi and all our spin-offs like the ArcoLinux Candy Beauty, that are working, right? That they have it. But the ArcoLinux Candy Beauty is depending on the work of the developer. We can sometimes make a link, but I'm not going to create icons in his style, right? That's his work. Surfen icons are the fallback theme. If you remove it again, all changes will be reverted. So we show you a few of these icons in this video. So okay, those icons. Then you know maybe you should do a sudo pacman -s ArcoLinux icon themes fixer git. The tweak tool has been managed as well. Since we have now the since we have the Nemesis repo, we can also enable it simply by clicking here. And then these 3 lines will be added to your pacman.conf, and voila, you can install. So it's all too technical. If you don't want to run the script that we just shown you, Ctrl-Alt-E, and you've got yourself a possibility in Pacman to click. And these are pictures about the icon themes. So that's a new icon theme. That's a new icon theme. That's one. That's one. And that's one. Those are the edus, and that's a good thing. Now they're all together, so they're up with the first letters alphabetically, right? So easy to find, easy to select. Oh, there was still another one, and that's the edu vimix dark tela. So all choices, all ideas, all what ifs, you can have these what ifs. If you require knowledge, well, watch the videos and you'll get the knowledge and you create your own themes. We also added the LightDM Slick Greeter. It's a nice little greeter. Look at the image. Beautiful. It's slick, so to speak, right? And voila, it all requires a click. That's for the guys who are on LightDM. By default, we're on SDM, but I know this and spread the word that not all systems, hardware out there works with SDM. So sometimes we do to LightDM. Simple, right? To LightDM. That's all you have to type, and it goes to LightDM. I can type it, and there's no issue. Why? Because I do to SDM again, and everything is back to as the way it was, right? So there are many choices. There are many twos, by the way. There is to LightDM. There is to Fish as well. That's from us as well. To Bash is also from us. To LightDM, to LXDM, to Li, to SDM, to ZSH. Those are all our easy things. So alias to LightDM. All right. So we've got a new possibility, Slick Reader. Wow. Just a choice, just a package. So install and activate. And this I've just put all together, right? General improvements. We have been working on Berry and Worm, which are tiling window managers. We've put packages on there. I mean, you can install them. So sudo pacman -s worm. The packages are there. Worm dev git, and there's Berry as well. And we have the ArcoLinux packages for them. But we're not happy with it, and if we get frustrated, we say okay, whatever, right? We just walk away, and we'll see if these tiling window managers will grow in the coming months and maybe next year, right? If it's worth making a nicer for it. So it's in the back of our mind. You can try it out with the code I just showed you, but we're not going to make it an ISO. We're not going to put it in ArcoLinux tweak tool. We wait for it to grow. NS switch. ArcoLinux is using a new NS switch configuration. We've chosen to follow a few of their settings and change another. So more information on the Arch Wiki. Just have a look. Does it matter? It matters for people who have network connections, NAS servers, stuff like that. Then you go inside here, and that's why I've put the ArchWiki in here as well. And you go and have a look at the domain name resolution, which is also already quite technical. All right, how to resolve a website into, well, a number, I guess, an IP address. But there is so much more to be told, and it's all here. It's also an advice and a tip. Thanks to looking at other projects from other people, like this Alice project, right? The AA. Thanks to that project, I looked into his code, and I really like his code. So have a look if you're a coder, if you want to learn about scripting. Have a look at the Alice scripts. Because I saw in there, oh, we can have a system deboot on ArcoLinux, and it's very minimal, and I don't mind it to be minimal. You can also hide the complete boot up, and it just boots into the system. Options, right? Choices. If you like a black screen with a few lines, great. The system deboot is possible on ArcoLinux, and it's explained on, yes, the ArcoLinux D website, and that's gonna be ISO ArcoLinux 1 here. So in our installation path, we'll tell you, okay, you can choose now grub or refined or system D, right? So there are choices, and we thanks to his scripts, I said, okay, looks nice as well, so let's make a tutorial, and voila, it's there in the articles. So how to install ArcoLinux with UEFI X4 system deboot. That's new. SEDM, XFC, all the rest is the same, right? Choices all the time. But that's the new thing that we figured out, learned, and shared. Some people were asking about NCMPCPP, so that's the left thing. That's actually kind of database. It's a player here, and this is the elements, songs in the database. And I only have 2 DVDs or CDs, better, Glittering Prize from Simple Minds, and another one, and I always try that one to see if it's working. So voila, all the code is working again. Article can be found on ArcoLinux.com, ArcoLinux.com. So there are many articles about NCMPCPP, voila. But it will break. That's my experience over the last 4 or 5 years. From time to time it will break, and you need to figure it out again, so I'm not really using it. It's fun figuring it out, but then I leave it as it is and never use it. But you're welcome to use it. It gives you beautiful screenshots anyway. I think this is Kava, I think, don't recall. I'm honest, to be honest, but we find everything here, right? A lot of articles, how to install, check the design, red, white, look. I've done several tutorials about it, but this is the ArcoLinux COM, and COM is for everybody, right? For information about Apple and ButterFS. It's about anything Linux, Tin2. Anybody can follow my tutorials about Tin2. Tin2 is just a tool, like Polybar is just a tool, or Plank is just a tool. So this is always more Linux minded than a level deeper, the ArcoLinux D, which is more desktop, the D for desktop. So here is the ArcoLinuxD.com link, and all I did is use the search. May I suggest you use the search? There it is. And you'll find other information here as well. So sometimes the buttons don't work. Okay, how do they work then? Change the font. Okay, and awesome. And don't think in boxes, eh? If this is explained how to make it work in Awesome, maybe with the same knowledge applied a little bit different, it can work on another tiling window manager. It's it's versatile Linux. Okay. This is a question we get a lot, and I thought I'll just explain it again, right? ArcoLinux equals ArcoLinux equals ArcoLinux. What does that mean? Many people do not understand that ArcoLinux and ArcoLinux are basically the same things. In 6 videos, we show you how easy it is to start with ArcoLinux and get ArcoLinux and make it an ArcoLinux just by installing more packages and not doing some choices, making some choices. It boils down to knowledge, time, and choices. Many people, well, not that many, but some people, right, have hardware that is not really suitable for Linux. Or Calamares gives issues. Is there a way to install ArcoLinux without Calamares? Is a question that we hear all the time. Now, in the meantime, we have 40 ways to install ArcoLinux, right? ArcoLinux. So, in this time, I would say there is the ArcoLinux way, there is the ALCI way, which is Calamares again. There is Calamares again. There is the AA. So we have 2 options. We have the AA ISO and we have the ArcoLinux way of installing. And there is also the ArcoLinux install script that you can use. So 3 ways. Okay. Is there a way to install ArcoLinux without Calamares? Yes, this is explained how to install ArcoLinux UEFI. We were experimenting with ButterFS at that time. ButterFS, SDDM, XFCE4. Done. So in the end, probably at the very end of the video, somewhere at the end, right, we'll get a more look that is pure Arch. And let's go to here. Yeah, okay, voila. And then the next one is NVIDIA. So I know people thinking in boxes, but see ArcoLinux as a playground, as a room filled with Lego blocks, and you choose the Lego blocks. What kernel? There it starts, the Zen, the hardened Linux kernel. And you start up, build everything up with ITM. How about something nice to greet us? Slick greeter. Okay, why not SDDM? And so on. It keeps on building and having more and more configs and little changes here and there. And that's what makes all these distros. But many of the distros are Arch based, and you can easily switch because the knowledge is more or less the same. The alias will change, right? Things like that. But in the end, you're driving a machine on Arch. Just wanted to make sure I got that message through. I'm probably gonna be fighting that perception to the end of my days, right? But it's all one system. It's an ArcoLinux system. NVIDIA and NVIDIA NV control. We've added NV control, so people who have troubles or who want to can use the NVIDIA driver, but they have another one, an Intel or an AMD, right? It's another way of getting control over your hardware so that the NVIDIA is used. I'm thinking the other application. The other application is Bumblebee, and the other one is Optimus Manager. So those applications you'll find also in Calamares in the choices. And if you know already, okay, I need to have that particular application for this laptop, then you know you have to install it. Okay. We've been creative. Peter has been creative actually. So Peter is one of our beta testers, and he made a horror theme. So SB horror, single bar, and DB double bar Nemesis have been created. And the fun is curate your own, right? Make your own theme. Okay, that's an E missing there. 2613. Voila, that's changed. You'll see it reflect later on. And then the next thing, yeah, there are 40 ways to install ArcoLinux. I was counting all the ISOs that we create, and the ArcoLinux way, and the AA way, and the ALCI way. I thought, oh my god, there are 40 ways to install ArcoLinux. There are. VirtualBox service check, we've changed some things around, so in the future it's more like a streamlining is the best word to say, some services, that our system is clean and nice and everything works. That's already fixed in the meantime. UEFI and VirtualBox is going to work again. That's a VirtualBox thing. TLP service. Sometimes people boot up, they give us an image, and we saw a black screen, all the lines when you boot up, right? And TLP, last thing. We don't know if it causes the obstruction or not, but TLP is something for a laptop. Personally, that's the first thing I remove. I'm always on desktops, right? I don't want TLP. The package is there. It's not loaded. It's not started. It's not enabled. Meaning it could be anything, right? It could be a text of your university song. I don't know, whatever. It is not used. It's just there. And if you want it, that's it. That's the message. Guys, enable it. So if you want TLP to be there on your laptop, that's the line you put into your script after a clean install. You either type it or learn how to script, and it's automated. It's automatically activated then. I made also a tip, and I got the response that many people didn't know that you can make a filter on ArcoLinux YouTube. You can tell them, give me the latest videos for a week back or 2 weeks back or a month back, so you don't miss out. Sometimes you're on holiday, you have to work, and you wonder, what did I miss? There is a YouTube video, and there is in the end a URL. Look at the URL, search query ArcoLinux, and then technical data saying, give me the videos of last week, give me the videos of last month, and then you see anything in there that interests me. Nope, fine, move on, right? Look at the titles and say, this I want to know. It is university, but it's up to you to handpick it, right? We give you all the support with the start here's, so follow the start here's, minimal, and then it's up to you. Must read now what? We try to guide you into a direction, but in the end, it's freedom. You do whatever you want, handpick, cherry pick, whatever you want to call it, but what you need, go get it. And it's on YouTube for one, because it's a great medium to put everything on there, but it's on our website. That's where everything starts, and YouTube is just where will I put my videos. I can put my videos on the web server as well, but I will have a few gigabytes. I need a few gigabytes to have 2,700 videos on there, right? So better put it on YouTube. Okay, YouTube, keep up to date with the last videos. I see I need to remove that one. Yep, double. And on to do Nemesis Repo. Yeah, we're sure we're gonna develop more and more stuff for sure. And what's new video? That's this. We are now creating the what's new video. I'll put it in there. That's the old one of last January. How to stay rolling has been created. How to get from an ISO of 2000, actually December last year. That's when we build it. And then move to something more recent, so update. Learn about the key changes, the key rings. It's always the same thing. Once you become a user of ArcoLinux, you know the key ring, right? ArcoLinux-keyring. That's the one that will save the day and get the new keys in so you can install your system. But there are other challenges, and that's why we have these videos. And how to stay rolling will show you also that we have this folder, the .bin folder. We've been there already. We've shown you the Nemesis repo. And how to do Samba is also something new, quite recent, few days ago. And in here we have the stay rolling 2022, how to move from January to March. Next one we'll have another folder, and then it's 23 and so on. So stay rolling, run this thing, but of course read, right? It's interesting to read code, and you see it's only that. It's for these annoying warning messages from Linux firmware. Voila. I do believe we've evolved in a tremendous way in the sense, and I hope you get it. Calamares is of course getting better. Lots and lots of choices. That's what I would actually put third. What I find super important is the ButterFS. We have beautiful system, works out of the box. Click this, click that. Make sure you have ButterFS. It just works. Like I said, how much was it? 459 snapshots I have here to my left. And the other thing is the Nemesis repo, right? You have now the freedom to add, to build, to create, to build, to put on the repo, to add to the ISO your own packages. ArcoLinux couldn't be more your distribution, your ISO, because anything in there can be changed now. All right, enjoy ArcoLinux and have fun. Cheers.